After 40 years living largely in the southeast of England, where she raised a family, 18 months ago, Sarah decided to return to her roots. Having been part of a thriving artistic community in Rye in East Sussex, where she previously lived, Sarah's now on a mission to establish a creative hub and a home up here. The location is this exposed upland field she's bought at auction for £200,000.
I saw this 3-acre field with planning permission 5 miles from where my parents lived, and I just thought, I'm definitely going to go for this.
What's the house going to be?
I'm building a single-storey home studio eco house made out of hempcrete.
This is hemp stems from hemp grown in fields.
Yes.
It's not the psychoactive version, but
No,
almost.
no,
And
yeah.
it's mixed with lime.
That's right, lime binder.
And water, and you make basically, it's like a sort of concrete, but made with natural products.
Exactly. It's a healthy thing to live with, unlike modern building materials, which contain so many plastics.
The first step will be to level the site, dig foundations, and, as hempcrete can't be used below ground level, fill them with conventional steel-reinforced concrete. Next, a lightweight timber frame will go up to form 3 barn-like structures, with a few steel I-beams for reinforcement. A simple entrance hallway will link the barn shapes into one. Next, a skin of sterling board will wrap around the outside of the timber frame and inside, but only up to a height of 60 centimetres. Into this shuttering section, buckets of wet hempcrete, hemp mixed with lime binder and water, will be tipped and tamped down. Once this first section or lift has set, the process repeats in stages up the walls. Once dry, a breather membrane then goes on and the building gets clad in stone from the former home on this site. A bright ply-clad hallway cum gallery for displaying and selling art will lead to a world of raw hempcrete, an open-plan kitchen diner and living space, off which are a bathroom and Sarah's digs. On the other side of the gallery will sit Sarah's art studio and another 2 bedrooms for her grown-up sons, Noah and Hector.
Tell me, how much is all this going to cost?
The total budget is $330,000.
There's no borrowing going into the project?
I don't owe anybody any money, and I'm not going to.
You're not going to?
No, I'm not going to borrow any money, no. I won't go down that route.
Within weeks, the foundations of Sarah's new home are being dug by an experienced local builder, David, and his team.
Swingers over there.
David's been in the building game in these parts since 1981.
Like standard building, you sort of know what you're going to do. But as for the hemp, I think she's a little bit far out with that. You know, that's something just new. And it'll be the first in this area, and it'll probably be the last. So I don't think anybody else will do it.
2 weeks on, the striking red steel roof installation is advanced enough for hempcreting to start.
Today is the day that I've been really looking forward to.
First, a vertical axis mixer combines the hemp stalk or shiv with a lime-based binder and water. The hempcrete is then tipped from buckets into the shuttering and then tamped down. Once this first layer has partially set, the timber formwork is removed to reveal that section of finished wall.
Almost perfect.
But sure enough, Sarah faces a sucker punch. There isn't enough hemp and lime binder on site to finish the job, even though she paid a sustainable building consultancy in the UK several £100s to advise on the quantity of materials she'd need.
We think some of the volume calculations that have been done might have been wildly off, and we might need roughly double the materials we've got.
Sarah faces shelling out thousands more on hemp and lime binder.
This, I have to say, this is getting too much, okay?
It is 3 years since Sarah returned to her roots in the high country of the northeast.
Ah, will you look at that? Beautifully built. It's medieval standards of stonework. It's really, really great. However, the windows, they are big and they do shout that they've arrived, like the roofs, you know? It's beautiful. I wasn't expecting the plywood interior. It's a big wooden box.
The glass wall of the gallery places you right into the grasslands outside,
That is a painting waiting to happen, isn't it?
while a door to the left leads you right into another grassy environment, Sarah's hempcrete living space.
Oh, Sarah. Beautiful. And here, The plywood mixes with the hemp. Glorious.
Back on the other side of the entrance come gallery is the creative heart of Sarah's home, her studio.
Very, very lovely. Quite ecclesiastical, you know.
Yes.
Big, long nave, altar at the end, that view to the landscape.
It is a totally special space. It's energising, but it's calm.
Also on this side of the house are bedrooms for Sarah's grown-up sons, one of which she's camping in while she finishes her own bedroom off the living space.
How much did you spend in the end, you reckon?
520.
And now what you've ended up spending seems to me to be about fair for a building this size, albeit you've still yet to finish. So you now officially have spent everything
That I have in the world. Yeah.
Right. And the building is what you wanted.
Oh, it's more than that. It's kind of taken a life of its own, really.
It's very, very lovely.
Buying a factory-built home proved irresistible to Pete, who works in manufacturing in London.
I'll risk it if you want to.
As a vice president of supply chain strategy, he values production runs with predictable outcomes.
A good supplier to me is one that involves the least surprises. So they agree on a timeline and they deliver on it. They tell you what it's going to cost and it does. And the quality of product you get is exactly what you asked for.
Naturally, he wants his new house to be similarly supplied. It's the end of March. The house is due in just 6 weeks. At last, though, the bungalow is being dismantled because the crucial bat licence that the ecologist Joseph applied for is in hand.
I'm obviously really pleased. I didn't want to be turning up today with no licence.
They're taking the roof tiles off by hand and looking through the holes and just seeing any roosting underneath the roof.
Joseph will gently rehome any residents to a bat box, working ahead of the builders to find any.
So there's a small gap here, so we use an endoscope to inspect it. It doesn't look like there's any bats in here at the moment.
But as midday approaches, one thing is apparent. The little critters jumped ship long ago.
That's good. Good news.
No bat!
It's the penultimate day before the house is due at Pete and A's, and 5 waterproof wrapped modules are ready for haulage. Tom will lead the hazardous journey.
We've never actually done anything this big before. I got a copy on you. I mean, they're almost 16 foot high. It'll be a new challenge for us.
The plan is to travel 233 miles to an overnight spot near site. It takes an hour and a quarter to travel just 15 miles. The plan is for a 4 a.m. start to avoid any traffic from this overnight spot 5 miles away. It's taken 7 long hours to get here, and yet the worst is to come tomorrow. The lifting plan is to get 1 unit in every 30 minutes to beat the school run up the lane, cranking each lorry as close to the drive as possible away from the overhead wires. To get this unit safely airborne, the crane's cradle must be negotiated to exact pickup points.
Hold it there.
All good to connect?
And then Kenton has to carefully calibrate it all. Slowly, gently, the valuable 20-ton cargo is winched up.
We just want it to start floating and then we might have to alter. Keep going, we've got a bit of movement. Hold it, hold it, hold it there.
It looks ever so slightly off kilter.
All right, on them cables? Yeah. Pinching up, right?
And then suddenly,
Oh!
It's an interesting noise.
the front right corner has hit the lorry bed.
Might have been a shackle. Pinching up. Okay. Hold it there. We all good?
It's testament to the build quality of these structures that it's not damaged.
Drive.
One day they'll design nice square boxes that just pick up perfectly in the middle.
Okay, it's lift off. It's going.
Truck's gone.
Oh!
It's taken an hour, but the flying house is landing beautifully.
To your left a little bit. Hold it there.
Afrin need not leg it. Crucially, everything is intact despite the knock. Incredibly, in less than 5 hours, Pete and A's Z-shaped home has docked. Just 2 months ago, I watched open-mouthed as A and Pete's modular home gracefully docked. And here I am again, heading there for the last time. So, has it managed to put roots down? Ho, 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 ho! Wow. My word. That is sharp. It is darkly handsome. The home with attitude. It's dynamic and skewed to fit the site, as if it were a massive black machine that's turning. It's all simple, harmonious and spacious. Straightforward, elegant qualities. One thing that you don't expect from a prefabricated home is that it's going to give you space, room to breathe. Yeah. Very nice. We're in the middle of the Z. By the pond is the kids' wing, Alice and Joe's bedrooms with their own ensuite. At the other end are the adults' quarters. Super civilized. I like this whole outdoor deck lifestyle thing, but perhaps it's hurt financially. So how much does all this cost?
Just north of 800.
So they landed it on time.
Yep.
It cost what it was going to cost, barring the extras that you...
Extra.
Yeah. And the quality is beautiful. I've never really seen a building where you can get all three. The UK is one of the most deforested nations in Europe, so our woodlands are precious, and permission to build a home in them is close to unheard of. But here, in a far corner of West Wales, Marcus has got permission to build a family home in a 20-acre woodland that he's known all his life.
I don't feel it's like my right to build in here. It feels amazing to be able to build in a woodland. I think it's so exceptional.
Marcus's father, Paul, was a pioneering environmentalist and bought this woodland over 30 years ago.
So we are at my dad's grave. We buried him in the woods. He was only 54. Yeah, it's a massive, huge shock.
Now, Marcus has the rare opportunity to build a home here with his wife, Abby, and their twin daughters.
Hi.
Hi, you started.
We couldn't stop.
You couldn't wait, and what an extraordinary site to find yourselves in. It's one thing to manage the woodland, create the clearings and the glades, quite another to get permission to build a house in one of them.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
A lot of hard work. It's under a policy called One Planet Development.
Which scrutinises every part of our living, from how we're going to buy clothes in the future to what food we're growing, what food we're eating.
Hang on a minute, this isn't just about the building.
No, it's about the whole land management. You're monitored for the first 5 years, and you have to show that you have reduced your transport miles.
You have to produce 5
years worth of accounts.
Of personal accounts. This is about you changing your lives under scrutiny, and if after 5 years you fail,
Get chucked off.
you get chucked off. You have to dismantle the house. 27 small pits have been filled with compacted recycled concrete, and each topped with a boulder to create some super low impact foundations. These support a timber frame, chiselled and worked to fit the shape of the hill and the shapes of the boulders. This building's deep green and low-cost agenda means recycled second-hand glazing, which should save them a small fortune. Insulation will be rigid wood fibre board, backed up by recycled newspaper, blown into all the wall, floor and roof cavities. An airtight membrane should bring this home close to passive house standards. Extra long roof joists will form a deep eave to protect the building and support a roof skin of metal sheets. All of it wrapped in the protective embrace of a set of decks to promote physical contact with the woodland wonderland. This is a family determined to make a difference. Tell me about the cost of all of this.
We say 100?
100,000. Marcus is doing the work.
And I've got the sawmill.
You can't get a mortgage on it.
No, so we can never sell this.
You are spending £100,000 on something that you hope you can live in for the rest of your days, but you're not sure about that. You might get kicked out of it, and it's going to be essentially worthless.
Yeah.
good investment, isn't it?
No professionals, hardly any money. I should be running for the Welsh Hills. But there is something contagious about Marcus and Abby's noble naivety. Marcus has a responsibility here, not just to the environmental planning conditions, but also to the man who first introduced him to these woods.
They say, don't they, that death removes a person, but it doesn't eliminate the relationship with that person. That carries on. In this case, the place itself connects Marcus to his father, because Paul is buried here.
This project was supposed to take a year. Now, after 20 months, the pressure of building is relentless. They are only just laying the dried larch floorboards.
Every bit of wood, I've felled it, sawed it, I've stacked it, then I've got to oil it and polish it.
Laying this floor will take 3 weeks, and for the first time, they have a very real deadline. For millennia, our homes were shaped by local materials and by the skilled hands of local craftspeople who understood them. 2 years ago, Marcus and Abby set out to rediscover that tradition.
That is a building full of stuff you want to explore.
For a building detailed on the back of an envelope, it is pretty flawless. And it captures the spirit of adventure with which it was built.
There's a hot tub.
The playful, rustic chic of the outside
yes,
gives way to a bright, grown-up interior. To take the path less travelled is always brave, and this rare wooden cabin captures that modern pioneering spirit.
I mean, first of all, congratulations, because I think this is just magical.
It's a good space, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm tired, but I am pleased.
I think we all understand that.
It's kind of like, it's just now we can, just sit back and kind of enjoy it.
How would your dad have?
Yeah, I think he'd have been proud. Yeah, lots of people say how proud he'd have been. So, it's definitely inspiration from him.
And so how much have you spent?
I think it's 150,000.
Really well built, properly membraned. You've got double glazing, biomass boiler, electricity, batteries and solar panels. You've got mechanical ventilation and heat recovery. He's got the highest possible spec, really. That's remarkable. You've just got this amazing philosophy of just do it as cheaply as possible.
Feels kind of miraculous and free, you know.
When Perpetua met Melina back in the 90s, it wasn't a given that they would fall in love. On their wedding day, they agreed to realise each other's dreams. On the land they bought together in the Surrey Hills.
I've always wanted to build us a home, and now to get the chance to do that is incredible.
However, the impetus to realise that dream came into sharp focus 2 years ago, when Pep was diagnosed with terminal cancer.
The diagnosis of cancer that triggered me into saying, right, if I'm going to build a house while I'm alive, I better get on with it now.
Never one to hold back from getting stuck in. Building a house has become Pep's raison d'etre.
So what's the deal then? You're going to build on this site, yeah?
So the grand plan is to build a single-storey Viking-inspired longhouse.
This is a modern version, so passive house, and inside is just going to be very modern Nordic design. And hygge. It has to be hygge.
Which is cosy.
Yeah.
First order of business is to get rid of the old chicken shed and concrete pad. In its place will come a highly insulated polystyrene raft that will be laid out and filled with concrete. From this point on, this house, designed by Pep and Melina themselves, will be constructed almost entirely of wood. Prefabricated sections will form a super energy-efficient, insulated structural shell. This clever piece of engineering creates a huge open space inside, ready for Viking feasts. And supporting this Viking hall, entire walls of glazing to connect with the nature that surrounds. Pep and Melina's ambition is to make a home that honours their life shared together. However, time is not on their side, so it's vital that they build it as quickly as possible.
How much have you allocated for it?
500 plus 10% contingency, so 550.
Oh, which is quite ambitious.
We're funding the project through 2/3 of my life insurance, and then the other third will come from the sale of our existing house. So the idea is keep me alive, keep me alive so I can build the house.
Yeah.
Anything we get after that is a bonus.
Whoa!
We don't need that house anymore anyway.
Within weeks, the ground is beautifully flat and ready to take delivery of the foundation system. Like no other project I can think of, here time really is of the essence. Pep has ordered a highly insulated foundation system made of polystyrene blocks.
Yeah, okay.
And then your big slater at the back again, yeah.
These form a tray, which is loaded up with underfloor heating loops, sewer pipes and rebar. And within a week, bang on Pep's schedule, it's ready to be filled with concrete.
Wait, pump is blocked now. Won't do nothing.
But a sudden fault with the cement truck means it's now churned out completely the wrong mix, causing the pump to jam up.
It's like a meter now.
An interrupted concrete pour could screw up the whole foundations.
We're having a nightmare here.
Just 3 months after they struck ground, Pep and Melina watch as the first panels are swung into place with a satisfying speed and efficiency.
Cheers, couple of mil.
Over the next few days, the rest of the internal walls and roof structure fly up. For just short of 3 long years, Pep faced down her cancer diagnosis with a courage and determination that was inspiring. But in the closing weeks of spring, Pep finally reached the end. For Pep, the construction of this shared home was a lifelong dream, one which arguably provided her with the energy and life force to propel her beyond the time the doctors had given her to live. Now, it falls to Melina to decide how that dream is realized. This building is devoid of ostentation, but replete with elegance. It shows what happens when you make an art of simplicity through flawless, crafted execution.
This is the Viking Hall.
It is.
It is a space filled with all the Scandinavian-designed furniture and fittings which Pep and Melina collected over the years, alongside a new, neat kitchen area with a lavish marble top.
So when we designed the kitchen, Pep wanted a window seat so that, she could watch me cooking and, have a glass of wine and just, as a kind of being together and do the cooking. So that's why the
that's why
the window seat is very important, yeah.
That's why she's sitting on the window seat.
That's her place, yeah.
I can't think of a more fitting testament to a life fully lived than this wonderfully modest home.
Do you know how much the project cost to complete?
Yes, just under £750,000. From being a dream home, suddenly the building has become a place for healing. Now the house is not going to be a home for me and Pep as a couple for the rest of our life. I feel very strongly that it will become a place for healing and sanctuary, not just for me, but for Pep's family and for other people who come into my life. I think that's really, really special,
Once upon a time, on a hilltop in Warwickshire, stood, at first glance, a shiny castle. It was bought by an entrepreneur, Piers, and Emma, a police officer. After forking out £1.4 million for it, they planned to lovingly and carefully
tear it down. It's a horrible looking building.
Tell me, what are you going to build?
We are going to build a modern take on a castle, which will be a family home.
So you are knocking down a fake castle to build a fake castle?
No, it's a 21st century castle.
The old folly will make way for a very big dig, hollowing out this hillside at different levels to install a maze of footings for a 30-metre-long structure and a very large basement under the tower. They'll build using insulated woodcrete blocks made from recycled shredded timber mixed with cement that'll be filled with reinforced concrete. An extraordinary 25,000 blocks will be needed to build from ground floor to the first floor bedroom wing to the 5 floors of the tower, to be topped with a castellated roof terrace. There'll be a basement pool, a very large garage, utility rooms, an outdoor kitchen in the loggia, and a 2-bedroom apartment. The first floor will be for sleeping, with a children's wing and a main bedroom in the tower. The second floor will contain the kitchen diner, the third, the living room, and the fourth will be the roof terrace. 8 bedrooms, a total floor space of nearly 1,100 square metres. It'll be the biggest self-build I've ever seen. Well, surely they're going to need a fortune for all this.
What in your head, then, have you priced it at?
About £200 a square foot. So across 11,000 square feet, that's nearly £2 million.
That came to 2.2 million, not 2 million.
Maybe closer, yeah.
What happens if it goes, if it goes over?
Those are sleepless nights type conversations.
Where's the money come from?
I sold a business and got some mortgages. I'm addicted to risk, and I think Emma has bought into that now.
2 months in, the project is already in peril. The old place should have been demolished by now, but it's full of asbestos.
There's probably about £100,000 of cost there that we just haven't foreseen. I just want the building down.
The burdensome folly takes another month before it's deemed safe. Then, at last, digger day.
Whoa!
The destruction is breathtaking, and the carving up of the site just as brutal. After 10 weeks, there's a new peak in Warwickshire.
I built that hill.
The local workforce is 10 to 15 strong. That's a staggering 10 grand a week minimum.
Our bills each month are already in eye-wateringly large figures. We're talking sort of 50 and £100,000 each month. We'll manage, we'll cope. It will be good.
There's a castle-sized hole, but not much else.
It's not quite going to plan.
Total cost?
About 180. It's a lot to take down a building.
Where does that money come from?
Everything you see, we've paid for in cash, literally, but we're just now talking a bit more with the bank.
Yeah.
Piers and Emma are also hoping to contain their budget by building with these blocks made from recycled wood fibre and cement. But just a few days after my visit, that battle tactic falls foul of events. The woodcrete block supplier has gone into administration.
All our plans, our layout, everything was all measured to the size of these blocks. So if we're changing that, then the hundreds of thousands of pounds I spent on planning, process, reports, all of that is potentially wasted.
3 months later, they're behind again, thanks to the weather and the difficulty of getting hold of more woodcrete blocks. Their new supplier is in Europe.
We expected them to arrive just a week after order from Italy, but actually, because they were stuck in customs, it ended up being a 12-week wait.
They're going to need 25,000 of these blocks, costing nearly £200,000. Inevitably, costs go north. They've spent £1.1 million on groundworks, twice what was forecast.
How have you coped with that kind of roller coaster nature of it all?
I think it's a lack of understanding about what's happening next. And so actually, most of it's a surprise.
He's $1 million over his £2.2 million budget. I'd be ruined. But he's in his happy place.
I'm like a dog with a bone, I'll finish it. I'll spend the rest of my life paying for it.
Yeah.
4 years have passed in its making, twice the time they forecast. Fully formed in silhouette, it is a forbidding fortification. And although not complete, it is monumental.
That is one hell of an entrance. I'm going to look for the moat, though.
120 metres above sea level, it looks quite the citadel.
How much have you spent, Piers? Just to the nearest, million.
About 5.
And how much do you think you're going to spend?
Probably another 1.
Okay, so all in for 6 million. So that's excluding the site and so forth.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of cash. How much of it is borrowings?
About half.
About half. Also a big amount.
Yeah, huge amount.
What's the percentage chance of you keeping hold of this project?
I think it's probably 50-50. We're in the process of refinancing, and then that should see us through.
Is there a chance you could lose both homes, this one and the one you're living in?
Well, there's always a small risk. I'll make sure we wake up tomorrow, work hard, fight hard, and we'll try and get the outcome we want.
This is the Wirral Peninsula, a quiet and polite corner of Britain near Liverpool. It's a land of traditional architecture, pitched roofs and pre-21st century housing, like this place that Stuart and Rosie Treasurer have lived in for the last 5 years.
It's been a wonderful home, but it's a crummy house. It's a 3-bedroom dormer bungalow. It was built in the 60s, quite cheaply, just a basic box just put up. I think it was built on spec. There's no insulation, there's cracks in the floor, the layout's really bad for us.
They're knocking the pitched roof off their old house and transforming it into something striking and modern.
No going back now. It's all got quite real all of a sudden. We're not going to try and copy a historic house. We're not going to try and build a 30s style house. You know, we need to build something that's of now, I think. I feel that quite strongly.
Their architect, Stephen Bromillow, has devised a design that will double the size of Rosie and Stuart's old bungalow and reuse their walls and foundations. This is what their old bungalow used to look like. Having decapitated it, a pair of hefty steel columns get craned in to hide behind the perimeter wall. These will support a fake cantilever, an overhang at one end of the new 21st century first floor box, sitting on top of the old ground floor walls. Built in blockwork, it'll get super strong joists, topped off with a sloping rubber roof. The outside of this spanking new top floor will be insulated and clad with a rough textured, heat-treated timber. Stuart and Rosie's design ambition is dazzling. The house will look like £500,000 worth of work, but they've only got 150 grand to do it.
Where's that money come from?
It's remortgage and savings. We're going to try and get the interiors done for, on a good day we think maybe 10,000, on a bad day we think, 20, 30,000, you know.
Stu and Rosie are also hoping to save money on finishes, by not having any.
We like the sort of slightly raw, slightly pared back, you know, industrial-ish look.
We really are talking super budget here, aren't we?
We are.
You haven't got much money?
Well, we've got enthusiasm and we've got energy and, you know, we've got people who'll help us out. We'll get it done.
A major part of their pound-saver industrial aesthetic goes into the building in the form of their roof joists. Downstairs, the joists will have to be boarded and plastered for fire regs, but upstairs, they'll be left utterly naked.
They're actually attractive things, I think. You know, they're a nice, interesting design. They're geometric, they're open, they're modern looking, they're cool. You know, they're a nice thing.
Now the roof's on, the modern form of this building is already starting to show itself off in among its traditional neighbours. But the interior is going to need all the beauty it can get, especially with all those exposed joists and bare blockwork walls.
I mean, to me, that is a beautiful wall. It's really nicely done. It's an attractive material. It'll go a bit lighter, obviously, when it dries out, but it's... Okay. I don't automatically just want to cover that over.
Paint it?
No.
Good for you. Lovely. I'd prefer stuff a bit more finished, but...
Leaving everything exposed may be an aesthetic choice, but I'm not sure it's making things cheaper.
Doing this kind of nice, simple, you know, sparse look adds cost that we didn't really expect. So, for example, all these little nice OSB panels in the ends all have to be custom made, custom fitted, measured and individually installed. So that's added time and added cost. So has it really saved us money doing this? I doubt it.
It gets worse. Outside, as the cladding arrives and the first boards go up, everyone's expressing their doubts.
If I'm really honest, I'm struggling slightly with the sticker marks still. At the moment, it still looks a bit stripy to me.
Well, it's good to be back here after nearly, 10 years? The thing about this house that Rosie and Stuart built was that it was quite disruptive here in the Wirral. And yet, approaching it, I don't see what the fuss was about.
The semi-cantilevered box now sits much more comfortably among its older neighbours. This house was never intended to stick out. It just needed an age-old ingredient, time, to silver it down.
Oh! This is beautiful.
The hallway has been smartened up into what now seems a proper welcome.
This is not, as I remember, this was all done in plywood, this hallway.
Yeah, well, covered it over and used the same wood as outside. This is the Accoya cladding. It's great, yeah.
You're a bit hooked on this, aren't you?
We are. There's more.
Oh. The sitting room has now been completely overtaken.
This has changed a lot.
By a world of sound.
So this room is sort of
Yeah.
become a music room.
So my dad was a massive CD collector.
Oh, really?
It was his sort of life's work, and when he died, we couldn't bear to break it up as well.
And what about all the recording kit?
Yeah, we lost my dad fairly recently too, and this is some
Oh.
of his stuff. He was a hi-fi buff.
Rosie and Stuart's homemade scaffolding kitchen is still there, a mark of its success. But it's now joined by a new, smartly clad opening.
I mean, it's a bar. It's got twinkly lights and everything. And what's this through here? This is a completely new room.
There is a new extension topped with a sedum roof. It was always planned as a family space to complement the smaller music room. It now completes the house. Rosie and Stuart's strategy of building gently with intention and patience has given them not just this adaptable modern home, but a feast of memories that binds together everyone living here. 9 years ago, Greg had a brain tumour from which he thankfully recovered. And it was through his illness that he also met his partner, Georgie, on a charity sailing trip. Georgie, who's an artist, has been in treatment for most of her life. Now, Greg and Georgie are about to begin an exciting new chapter of their lives together. By giving this run-down barn in Georgie's parents' garden a new and ambitious lease of life.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's big, isn't it? So do you keep this timber frame?
Yeah, so we're going to strip all the cladding off.
And what's the big idea?
We're doing split levels.
Yeah, so we've
Right.
got like a big cube in the middle. So
Nice.
all the bedrooms will be, we've got 4 bedrooms all around the side, and then in the middle is going to be a cube which is dug down.
Are you doing a lot of this yourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, Greg's going to do a lot.
Majority
himself.
of it, I would say. My pub, we had to do quite a lot of work there, take the whole roof off and everything. And I coped with that, so that was maybe the first stepping stone.
It's only 35 years old, but bizarrely, planning says they can't replace it. It's in a conservation area, so it has to be conserved as if it were ancient. Starting with the timber frame, which has to remain standing right through the construction. Their first task will be to carefully strip off the cladding, number each piece and store it safely on site to be refitted all over again later on. Then the existing thin concrete floor will need to be removed and excavations dug. At this point, if they're really unlucky, they may need to underpin, reinforce the concrete supports of the existing timber posts before they can then pour a web of foundations for a new slab. Even then, the building won't be structurally sound until Greg figures out how to repair all the timber posts that are rotten at the bottom. These are two inexperienced self-builders with health issues, going it alone. And this is a mighty big space which is going to demand huge inputs of energy, imagination and ingenuity. For starters, just look at the state of the timber posts.
Not much left of it.
No, actually there isn't, is there? How soft is it? Oh man, alive. Oh no, it's just like blancmange. Oh wow, so this is ex-timber and is now just adding an amazing amount of expense and difficulty to the project, isn't it? Oh, it's totally bonkers.
Greg might have cut his teeth project managing a pub renovation, but that is nothing compared to this.
What is your budget?
250,000.
It's pretty tight. It's very tight.
Greg and Sam's next task is less straightforward. They have to remove the barn's concrete floor so new foundations can be dug. Greg is a rookie digger driver, but a highly inventive one who has devised a new concrete busting technique. Rodeo digging.
Not even budging. Maybe you're right, Sam. Maybe we need a smaller bucket.
With a smaller bucket attached and Sam at the controls,
Yeah, that's coming on.
they can refine the art of cowboy building. Once the old concrete's cleared, Greg can hand over to a specialist ground worker, Paul, who has to install much deeper and reinforced foundations. New footings on an empty plot for a building this size might cost 20 or 30 grand. Here, delicately working around and reinforcing the base for this existing structure while keeping it all up will cost a lot more. Greg and Georgie have only been going for 6 weeks and already their groundwork costs have escalated to around £100,000. on a 250 grand budget.
Got any more buckets?
No.
So Greg's made the unenviable and perilous decision to part ways with the professional groundworkers and do the job himself.
We're actually a couple of weeks behind. I haven't done this kind of work before. Yeah, it's just a lot of pressure.
2 months into the project, the trenches are finally ready to be filled with concrete. And having completed so much of the groundworks themselves, miraculously they've spent not a penny more than the original 80 grand they budgeted. It's a remarkable achievement. Yet the barn's still not structurally sound, thanks to 10 badly rotten timber posts that need repairing, as ever, cheaply. But wait, Greg's already come up with a solution.
I think this is great. A massive collar in 2 pieces which fits around the post means you don't have to cut these.
It's great. I mean, it's a huge cost saving.
It's a nice, straightforward solution, and it's all from you. So it's better work.
Yeah.
Thanks to some clever planting, the barn's properly tucked into the landscape now. The maturing trees and lawn suggest a cleared woodland glade. The building itself is, of course, still the star of the show, with the welcome addition of a solar panel array.
It is as I remember. It's just as sharp. It's actually beautiful. At every turn, there's you guys. It's really nicely done.
The double-height living space still packs quite a punch. The kitchen is spacious. Openings connect to landscape.
I suppose many of us take a lot of things for granted. Health, well-being. How do you figure out where you're going next?
We definitely don't have it mapped out. I think the only thing we are certain on is that this is a home for life, and we will be here forevermore.
Yeah, we will. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met a more inspirational couple than these two, who've built an inspiring safe haven for the future here, against the greatest of odds.